How y'all doing? It's been so long since I've done a video, and I am so sorry it's taking me so long. I've been in the hospital, and actually, I've been in the hospital since last month, and this was the longest hospital stay in like years. So your girl got a little worried, for a minute, and people had to talk to me and kind of encourage me and just remind me of all the things, that I've already been through and overcame. So your girl back, and I'm healing, and I'm taking my time. I'm not trying to rush it. And I'm starting to feel a lot better. So that's a good thing. But enough about me. Okay. For those of you that either have sickle cell or are dating someone with sickle cell, I wanted to do this video blog talking about dating with sickle cell. It's an area that's kind of untouched. I haven't heard that many other people talk about it or address it. And so me and my dad was talking. I was like, that's a good idea. Go ahead and do a video about it. So whether you're a spouse dating or thinking about dating somebody who has sickle cell, these are some of the main elements for a healthy relationship. The first thing, as a sickle cell patient, we need to make sure that that person is going to be strong enough, mentally strong enough to deal with seeing us be mistreated or to deal with us needing care that we're not getting, so to speak. And it does happen. It's one of those things where you can't dictate how you're going to be treated every time you go to get medical treatment. So that's the first thing. I have to be mentally strong enough to handle that, and that's something that should be talked about, an open conversation, and talk about it in the beginning before you get, to the point where you're a couple and and then something happens and it goes out wrong. And I've been there and done that. So, that's something that should be discussed up front. And I don't discuss that with people on the first date. But when you're starting to get emotionally attached to that person, that would be a good time to talk to them about your illness. Make sure they're educated about the illness. That's the second thing. Because you want them to be able to help and not be a burden or stress because they don't understand what you're going through. So talk to them about it. Ask questions. See what they know. See what they think about it. They may think it's contagious and may not ever say anything, but kind of acting weird. And yes, I've met people that didn't know sickle cell was genetic and not contagious. So yeah, I know that sounds crazy, right? But yes, it happens. The second thing is discuss the education side of it. Discuss what do they know about it, and if there's anything that's inaccurate that they think they know, just correct them. Sometimes I'll give them a website to go to, Sickle Cell Tennessee Foundation that we have here, sicklecell10.org. Well, I'll send them to that and let them read up on some things if they aren't aware, because you want that person to, I'm gonna give you a good scenario. If you go to the hospital and you're out at the movies or whatever, you get home, you're hurting a lot, you're not feeling well, chest pain. He takes you to the hospital. If he has no idea what's supposed to be happening and what the protocol is, how can that person be of help? And I'm saying he because I'm a girl, obviously, but he or she, how can they be of help to you if they don't know anything about the treatment of the illness and the protocol? So that's the first thing. The second thing is it helps them to be more compassionate towards you. If they're uneducated about it, if they don't know that it causes as much physical pain as it does, then it will seem like they're coming off as cold, nonchalant, and uncaring. So it's good to educate them about it. Don't be ashamed of it. That's the next thing. Do not be ashamed of it. There's no reason to be ashamed or embarrassed. I got sickle cell. It is what it is. So if you really care about me, you're going to be there regardless, and whatever we go through, we're going to get through it, and it's just, that's just how it is. There's no reason for me to withhold that information because I'm ashamed, because if that person really loves you, they don't care. and they're in it for the long haul. They're going to do whatever they can to help you, and that's how it should be. And the next thing would be to make sure they know that stress can exacerbate a crisis. Now, I'm not saying this is a way to manipulate the relationship, to not discuss certain conflicts within the relationship. You can't use it and be like, oh, you gonna get me to hurting, and when I start hurting, it's just gonna go downhill from there, and I don't want to talk about this. No, don't use that for that. That's not right, But use it as a way to avoid the person you love and care about from being the reason you're going into a crisis. I've also been through that. And it's hard when you're having a dispute and it escalates to the point where you're upset, you're crying, you're stressed out. And because he or she is upset, they're really not thinking about the effect that the argument is having on you. And then you end up getting sick. They feel guilty afterwards, and you feel dumb for even letting it get to that point. And that's a very difficult thing, to find that balance, to discuss things in an appropriate manner, without it getting to the point where a crisis is exasperated. And it's embarrassing. It is. It's embarrassing when your family members say, well, what happened? You were just okay. And you say, well, we had a disagreement, and I ended up getting, stressed out, and, and I had to go to the hospital because I went into a crisis. And then it kind of make them look bad, and your family's going to be like, okay, well, you might need to, second guess or think about, do you want to continue to be with this person? And I've been through that also. The next thing would be with being intimate with, they need to understand a crisis can be exasperated from physical exertion. So, especially with women, the man needs to be understanding of that and be gentle. Now, with me being a Christian and with me at the point where I want to live a life that's pleasing to God, I'm abstaining from having sex, but everybody doesn't believe the same thing I believe, and I respect that. So I'm just giving this information out to be helpful for the people that are. And if you are, that's something you want to make sure they understand, to be gentle and not to be so rough, because a crisis can be brought on by having rough sex. And it's kind of embarrassing when you tell your doctor, because he's going to want to know what brought the crises on. Well, doctor, like, how do you say that? Now, I don't have no problem saying it. When I was in my relationship and doing it, I just say, well, we was having sex, and afterwards I went into a crisis. That's that on that. I never was ashamed, or I never avoided talking about sexual situations. I grew up in a family like Meet the Fockers. I mean, we talk about everything, so that's just me. But for others, that's something you want to make sure you're discussing. For men, discuss having priorisms, discuss having the erections caused by the blood flow trapped in the penis, and that's painful, and that's something, guys, you shouldn't be afraid to discuss, or ashamed, or even thinking, well, what are they going to think? That is no need in that. As I said, they really care for you. They're going to understand. They're going to do whatever they got to do to make it work. So it's kind of a good thing, because it helps to get rid of the people that aren't sincere. And my illness has been a blessing to me, because it literally sifts through, and the ones that are left are the ones that really care for me. And that I can appreciate. And at first I used to complain about it, but now that I'm older and wiser, I see it's a good thing. Because people that weren't sincere or had motives, they're not going to stay around. But the people that really care are going to stay around. And, that's the good thing about it. Okay, what's next? Did I miss anything? Like, all the 6 pictures out there. If I missed something, please leave the comment and I will discuss it and talk about it. But, let's see. I think that's it. Yeah, and so, one other thing. And another thing is, if you're planning a trip, going overseas, vacation, or whatever it may be, make sure they understand you need to push fluids. You need to keep cool. Don't get physically exerted. That way, when you go on a vacation, it's not just you trying to prevent a crisis, but they're able to assist and help. And anytime someone can assist and help, it takes a lot of stress off of you. And you know, that I would definitely talk about before you take trips and vacations and all of that. Make sure they understand and know what to do. In case an emergency happens, they need to be aware of what procedures to take. Let's see. And it's good to give them a copy of your medication list. I keep one in my purse, you know, but it's good because if you're so sick where you really can't communicate, he can say, well, here's her medication list, you know. Well, what are you giving her? Morphine? Oh, she can't take that. They need to make themselves familiar with your medications and your allergies, and that could save your life. They could save your life. So sickle cell is not something that makes it hard to date and find people that really care. Look at it more as a good way of getting rid of the people that weren't meant for you, that aren't compassionate about your situation and don't really care. That's the way I look at it, and I don't have no problems with it now. So it's just like, dude, if you can't deal with it, deuces, you know. Ain't no need in me trying to, because I used to would not talk about it. I would not talk about it. I wouldn't bring it up because I felt like it was sending them running the other way. Now, I could care less. And if it's like that, then we didn't need to be together anyway. One thing about a sickle cell patient, because we suffer so much, we love harder than most people. And we love with just every fiber of our being, because we know life is short. And we have personal experience, daily experience with this. And so this usually makes us be better lovers and more unconditional lovers. So dating a sickle cell patient is the worst thing, you know. And the last most important thing, last but not least, is to discuss whether or not they have the trait. Because if you have children, you know, you would like to avoid your children having to suffer the same things that you've suffered. I think that's everything. So, look, I just wanted to do this video and throw this up. I just got out. Y'all can see I still got my PICC line in. And I had to get my porta cap took out. So, hopefully I'll be able to get another one soon. But, yeah. And I appreciate those of you that sent me messages encouraging me and praying for me. That, you know, that was really encouraging. And I read one message, and I'm not going to put their name out there because I usually ask first, but I just remembered. And they were just like, you know, you're very beautiful. You're a very beautiful person. And I'm praying for you, and God is going to bless you for allowing people, being so transparent and letting people see everything you go through. And, like, that made me feel special. And I was just like, oh, you know, I feel special now. But, yeah. So, I think that's it. I know y'all tired of the camera moving, right? I can't sit still. It's just like, I think I got like adult ADHD or something. But yeah. So anyway, yes. So that's Dating with Sickle Cell, the blog. Any comments or questions, please leave them. I will go into details, and I will either send a message or do another video, depending on what it is. And I'll pretty much talk about anything. Y'all know that. So, you know, I can care less about the people that are negative. It's the people that are positive and the people that are actually looking for knowledge and awareness about this disease. And that's what I'm all about. All right? It's so good seeing y'all. I'm so glad to be back. Okay. Peace out. Bye-bye.